why did we have to grow up? Fresh out the crib, we had no one to mold us. I smell like fear and marijuana. Should be eating Skittles in Arizona. We were just kids, why did we have to grow up? Fresh out the crib, we had no...
TW!
Hey!
Whoa!
We were just kids, why did we have to grow up? Fresh out the crib, we had no one to mold us. Look what they did, mama, they made us soldiers. Should be eating Skittles in Arizona.
Hey guys, welcome to another classic interview. It's your boy Mike Stu. Today I have a very, very special guest. His name is Air Smith. Make sure you check him out. What's going on, Air Smith?
What's up? Happy to be here.
Happy to see you, man. Today is going to be a chance for us to highlight one of our local artists where I think he's very, very unique in his style and his approach. And I just wanted to get a chance to get to know him and how he's come up and how he's kind of been introduced to the game. So, Air Smith, what got you started rapping?
Got me started. So to be honest with you, I was just doing spoken word. I've been writing since I was a kid. I started doing spoken word poetry in high school.
Yeah.
And I did that most of my life. And then I might sing in church or something like that. I would freestyle with friends, rapping in the car. But I didn't actually start taking music serious to this year. The single I dropped, that's my first song ever.
Okay.
I wrote that back in January. I wrote it back in January this year.
Mm-hmm.
What made me get started, I was actually doing radio and the pandemic hit. And so I was out of work for a few months and I was trying to figure out what my next move was. My girlfriend at the time, she was talking to me. She's like, I think you should pursue music. And I was like, what? I'm like, nah, because everybody's trying to do music all the time. Everybody's trying to do music. Yeah. And that's such a hard market because it's so oversaturated. For sure. And I was just like, I don't know about trying to do music now. Like, I should try that years ago or whatever. But I ended up listening to her and being like, you know what? Like, if she's telling me to, because one thing I really feel like is like, girls are not trying to be like a struggle rapper's boyfriend. So if a girl, because she told me, it gave me the confidence to think, all right, so she must really think I got it. And then I started pursuing it.
That's awesome, man. It's cool to have that push behind you and that spark. For you, I can tell that you have music background because you're a talented singer as well as a rapper. So I can see why she would push you into that. So tell me about your influence of your style of music.
Okay. Definitely I got a lot of family in music. Yeah. And a lot of family in music. Yeah. Man, a ton. I have a lot of family in music who are either producers, songwriters, singers, got some Grammys. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, that kind of intimidated me at first, being around cause when I was a kid, I knew I could sing, but my sister could really sing. And then all my cousins could really blow. Right. So, I never thought I could really sing like that growing up. I never even tried to sing around them. Mm-hmm. And then what got me, I guess, more into music was probably when I hit high school. I really started, diving into different sounds, hip-hop, and a lot of 70s soul and funk music. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting, yeah. 70, so what caught my ear is you saying that you're influenced by some of the 70s sounds. So who are your 70s artists? Who would you listen to back then?
So we're talking 70s. A lot of Curtis Mayfield. I love Curtis Mayfield. I love the psychedelic soul. I love the psych funk. I like how politically conscious his music can be, but he doesn't oversaturate it. Definitely P-Funk. I love P-Funk. Marvin Gaye, Stevie. I think both of them are musical geniuses. Love Stevie, yeah. Especially Stevie, man. That guy's crazy.
Genius.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And some Prince.
Yeah, absolutely. What's crazy is I haven't said this to you yet, but I was gonna wear that same exact shirt. Oh, that's crazy. I saw you walk in. I was like, bro, I was this close to wearing that shirt.
That's funny.
Yeah, but you saying that you like some of the politically conscious music, is that something that you want inside of your music?
I think to an extent. I think ultimately, music is meant to be entertaining and connect with people. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't think like I'd ever want to approach music from this, from a notion like I'm trying to preach to you or I got a message I want to
Yeah.
give you. Cause I just think it can be a little pretentious and like
That's a hard line to balance.
it's a hard line.
Yeah.
It's a hard line and it can be a little. I think it can be off-putting for people because then they'll put you in a category where it's like, oh, like, you know, he be preaching too much. It's always something political.
Yeah.
So I try to just approach music as what do I think is going to be the most entertaining and what's going to connect with my audience.
Yeah, that's a very hard balance. So I don't know that, but you could potentially be someone who really wants to get a message out there, right? But at the same time, messages are only going to be heard by ears that want to hear it, right?
That's true.
So you got to balance that line of how do I make good music that people want to hear, and also I still want to preach this positivity, or I still want to shed light on this area that needs help in the world. So that's awesome. I'm wish you the best of luck in that route, right? Because I like both music, right? I like some ignorant music, right?
Same, exactly. You gotta have it.
You gotta have it. Gotta have it. It's entertaining. So on the entertaining side, what do you go for? What kind of style do you go for?
So some artists who just inspire me in general, just as far as making good, entertaining music. I'm a diehard Kanye fan. Like
Yeah.
I'm a diehard. I will argue anybody down about Donda if you say Donda's trash. Like I'm a diehard. Now Jesus is King, whack.
Yeah.
Donda, I think Donda is a little better than people gave it credit for. But I definitely like Kanye, Kendrick. I'm big into like Steve Lacy.
Yeah.
I'm big into who else I like? I like Tyler. I like a lot of what he's doing. Vince Staples. I like a lot of what Daniel Caesar's doing. Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
Caesar. So I guess what inspires me more in the entertaining aspect is just as far as making entertaining music, what entertains you and what connects with you. Like what connects with you is going to connect with other people.
What I've noticed about the artists that you named is that those aren't really the big personalities. Those are the more relatable personalities, right? I'm a huge fan of most of those artists that you named, except for Kanye. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Kanye. What I'm saying is Kanye is one of those big personalities. He doesn't fall in that line of but I'm a Kanye stan as well. I had a lot to say on that conversation, but I want to shed light on you. I don't want this to be about Kanye, but yeah, what I think is interesting is that those people you named are some of the most relatable people. Vince Staples is one of my favorite just people, right? And I can tell that you're a really down to earth person that wants to let people know about yourself. So I heard the snippet, right? And I like it a lot, right? I really like the melodic sound of it. Can tell that you have a really good ear for sound, for music. So tell me about what you wanted to say in that song.
I think that song, I think it's funny because I think when people immediately see Arizona Skittles, obviously they think of Trayvon Martin, so they think the song is a narrative about Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
But it's not actually about Trayvon Martin as much as it is about my connection to the story of Trayvon Martin as a young black boy when it happened. I was like 17 when it happened.
Yeah.
And I remember the title of the song, Arizona and Skittles, I wrote that when I was 17. I just wrote Arizona and Skittles turned to dirty Sprite and Xannies. And I ended up writing a poem, and I was talking about, as a black boy feeling like I had my blackness as a weapon, one that they were afraid of being used against them, but one they were so willing to use against me.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like even when I was like 13 years old, I knew I had to like smile a certain way when I was around white people or do certain things so they know I'm not a threat, that's not me.
For sure.
And so I think when Trayvon died, that was the first time that subconscious thought like really like hit me. Like it was like,
real.
Man, like this is
There's
I've
a
been doing
reason
this
why
my
you're
whole
thinking
life,
this.
and I didn't even realize it. And so when I wrote that song, it was from the narrative of just how oftentimes as a black kid you get treated like an adult before you get the chance to become one, and that's essentially what the song's about.
Absolutely, I got a lot to say about that. So I like that the video. If you look at the video at first glance, it references the meme, right?
Arthur.
Of Arthur, and he's got on the whole fit. That's really cool.
Whole video, the whole cast is in there. Yeah.
It's nice. It references the whole show, and so. But then when you look and you see the Arizona, you see the Skittles, and you're like, okay, so there's more to this, right? And then you talk about growing up fast and how something like that, something traumatic for us, could force you to view the world a little bit differently, right? But yeah, so, talk about that.
Yeah, so actually I do want to talk about that Arthur thing because I think this is crazy. Yeah. So me and my friend Steve were on the phone, really incredibly talented guy. He's a poet and actor. We're on the phone, we're brainstorming ideas of what to do the video about. And he's like, what about Arthur? Now, Arthur, that's like my childhood show. Because like, we didn't have cable growing up like that. And even when we did have cable, we weren't allowed to watch everything.
PBS.
Exactly. So Arthur is like the quintessential childhood show for me. And one thing about Arthur that's different than even the shows on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, it's a really innocent show. Very, very innocent. No innuendo, no nothing.
Yeah.
Arthur embodied my childhood. There's still some stuff. But that's true. It embodied my childhood in a lot of ways, and I felt like it encapsulated my youth.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is I didn't even find this out till later. Arthur came out the same year I was born, 1996.
Yeah.
I always told people when I turned 25 that I feel like I wasn't a kid anymore. My whole youth was gone. Turned 25 this year. Same time I turned 25. Now I already had the video idea back in April. In August, as soon as I got done shooting the video back in August, it came out that Arthur ended after 25 years.
Wow.
So I thought that was crazy. Yeah, I was like, man, it was like everything just coming together. It was insane to me.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, and that kind of goes back to you balancing the entertainment and the conscious effort. So you're like,
for sure,
that meme is so iconic, right? And you mentioned that it's an innocent show, but I've seen some also. You know, the world's gonna twist everything, right? They're gonna find everything that was imperfect in the past, and so I think that was really entertaining, but also it gave me a lot to think about with the you mentioning your lyrics of turning Arizona the Sprite to Xannies and codeine. What was your
Arizona and Skittles turned to Dirty Sprite and Xannies?
Dirty Sprite and Xannies. To me, my first thought is like the reason why those turn to those things is because they're like numbing that pain, right?
Exactly.
So it's like I don't know, that just brought a whole new perspective to me. So did you tell us about your uncle yet?
No, so I do have my uncle. He's actually been guiding me a lot. He's running a record label out in Ocala right now.
Yeah.
In Florida, doing really well. Got to go to some songwriting camps there and stuff. And I'm really appreciative because I don't know how music is for everybody else, but it is hard to make music. Like initially coming up with ideas is easy, and like coming up with melodies is cool, and finding a beat.
Yeah. What are your biggest issues?
Getting it all together. For one, resources and time. Like I need to be in the studio every single day, but like everybody, I can't afford to be in the studio every single day.
Right.
So having to take 2 weeks in between a song idea, it doesn't allow me to grow as an artist. And even when you're in the studio, you only got like a couple hours, whatever you book. So I can't be experimental in the studio. Let's see how this sounds if I pitch this vocal up, or let's see. There's just a lot. And then the overall process of like when you lay down a verse, you lay down a hook, sitting back, there's so many like intricate details of background vocals and like how you say certain lines and refrains that you're like, I need to do that over. And then you gotta wait 2-3 weeks. Like it's a long process sometimes.
Look, that's not really my lane, but I can relate to that so much. I know one of our big things with Clique Classix is we want to bring a lot of different pieces together, right? So if you're struggling finding studio time, hopefully I can find some people in that lane so that we can connect, you know? But who do you think you would like want to, if you had the chance, who would you want to work with?
Who do I want to work with?
Yeah.
There's a lot, but I'll make it quick.
Talk as long as you want to, man.
All right, definitely Kendrick.
Yeah.
I love to work with Kendrick. I love to work with SZA, Daniel Caesar, Frank. I like to work with Anderson .Paak. Kanye, I'm a little iffy on because even though that's my favorite artist, he just doesn't seem like he's in the mental space to be able to really focus in on a project, and it just seems like he's bouncing back and forth from different things. So I feel like that'd be a little hectic, but I would still let it be.
You can make a whole song with him that's fire, and it never gets released.
And it never even get
right.
But I still try. I still want to be in the studio with him. So
for sure. So there were some of those names you named. Right, I'm a go a little bit into like your personal. Some of those names you named have some controversial things that they've said or done, right? That's caused some like repercussions. So with you kind of growing as an artist and also a personality, how do you balance that line of being able to?
That's a great question.
Yeah, to be able to make your music, in this world of, I would say, progressiveness. Right? How do you balance that line of not making the right people mad?
That's a really good question. So I think it's multifaceted in many ways, but I'll say it like this. I think one aspect is good that people are being held accountable. Yeah. And it is good that the people are being held accountable for the words they're saying and the things that they do, because you should have to be held accountable for that if you're saying that they're wrong. I don't like the selectiveness of it, and I think that oftentimes the selectiveness of like, all right, the baby said this, and so we're going to bash him, but then this artist did this and that artist, but I like that artist, and that artist is bigger, and so we're not going to say anything. I think the selectiveness of it makes it hypocritical. I think from an artist's perspective, you gotta be willing to be held accountable and willing to grow, but also at the same time, don't allow someone to force you out of not being yourself, especially when the people are just being hypocrites anyways. Like, a lot of it's like social media activism. People want to be woke on social media.
It's effective though. It's effective though.
It is. And in some ways that's good that it's effective, because like there are a lot of cases in which if we weren't holding people accountable, like they would just get away with all types of crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a hard road to balance. I try to live a really good life and try to promote positivity, but it's hard to kind of be like, I think of Kanye as one of those people who's gotten away with a lot of things. I'm a Kanye stan. Stan.
He's gotten away with some terrible stuff.
And maybe I'm biased, and there's a lot of the words he said I've twisted to mean what I want him to mean, right? But what I like about Kanye is that he stands behind his statements, and
he will stand behind it.
And he'll be able to move forward. So he's someone who, even when he says bad things, he stands his ground. And with that power comes responsibility. So he's just kind of continued to move forward, right?
I think another aspect, and we hear this all the time, separating the art from the artist. Yeah. We hear that argument all the time. I think to an extent we can do that. Now, if it's something insane like sexual assault, that's to me, like, I draw the line there. But a lot of these artists, it's like, you got to understand, these are human beings, and they're not, they're flawed. Some are just trash. Like, some people are like, I love Kanye for his music, but when that man talks about politics, I'm not even going to listen to it.
Sometimes maybe he needs to shut up.
Yeah, because, this is a man who admittedly said he doesn't, like, read books. So I'm not going to listen to you talk about politics you don't even read. Like, it's just, but...
I got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. I'm big on separate the art from the artist as much as you can, which would help if people didn't put artists on such a pedestal anyway. Like, just because you made Good Kid, Mad City and it spoke to me when I was 16 doesn't mean I think you should be my prophet or something.
For sure. Let's bring the topic back to you. I really want to know about what you have coming out next and what's next for you.
So I'm dropping 2 singles October 8th. I'm really excited to drop. Yeah. Definitely a change of pace. Both of them are more laid back, chill, just entertaining R&B tracks. I'm really excited about. I hope everybody likes them when they're finished.
Absolutely.
And so I'm dropping my music video for Arizona Skittles this Friday the 24th, and those 2 songs will be dropped on October 8th.
Awesome. Guys, as y'all can see, he's someone who takes his craft very serious, and so when these songs come out, I really want you guys to check them out. They'll be in the bio, right? We'll have links to all your stuff. And everybody, like Aerosmith is it's very unique. I like a lot of types of music, and you're one of the people that I'm really looking forward to see grow. So hopefully we can help you, and hopefully a lot of people listen to this music. So anything else you want to say?
Appreciate it. Guided Heat is really dope setup. I like what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it. Eric Smith, appreciate you coming to the Classic House. It was dope, man.
We were just kids, why did we have to grow up? Fresh out the crib, we had no one to mold us. I smell like fear and marijuana. Should be eating Skittles in Arizona.